one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. It's gotta mean something to you. It gotta mean something. Everything you got. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2-3. 1, 2, 3. Finish.
I can't even think about all of the shit I did to fit in. Past hard to watch like a fucking scary movie. I'm always happy to meet somebody that never knew me. Change for the better, hope niggas are living through me. I put it all on the wax so the people can know the true me. Hard to remain sane when the people you love the most is what's causing the damn pain. Y'all beef by the same thing, we ain't playing the same game. It's all for my family. She the girl of your fucking dreams, but to me she a plain Jane. You dipper and ball man, I dump when them calls came. This that higher level thinking. I'm the type to jump the fuck off of the shit before it's sinking. Not here for no new shit. My game slider boosted. Ain't I don't have to prove shit. Rockstar fight the fool shit. My movie, this the new script. I want a life with no bullshit. Nigga, I know on these news clips. That's why I dap him and move quick. Won't be around when they move switch. Won't be around when they lose clips. Won't be around for they lose lips. Might be the reason they pull shit. Yeah.
Yesterday's price is not today's price, Ravens. What you thought you were going to have to pay him, you're going to have to pay him more.
Yo, look. I should have drank something before I started. But listen, yo, check me out. I appreciate everybody who viewed the last video, the Lamar Jackson video. I appreciate everybody who viewed that. That's like my most viewed video. I appreciate y'all for that. I truly do. And I wanted to say that off the top. I appreciate the new subscribers, the old subscribers, all of that. Continue to view the videos, continue to subscribe, share, and all that type shit. We only gonna get better over here, I promise you. What is in store for this channel in the future, I'm trying to tell you, when y'all see how we start and see where we get to eventually, it's crazy. I mean, some days people who listening might be working with me one day. So just understand, this dream that I'm chasing is gonna be a beautiful, it's gonna be a beautiful one, I'm telling you. So I appreciate everybody who tuned in to the Lamar Jackson video, but I got more to say. That video wasn't even supposed to be an hour, and I still had more to say. I wasn't done. I wasn't finished. And listen, I love the Baltimore Ravens, man. I know I took some, it felt like I took some shots. Actually, give me a quick second. I know it felt like I took some shots at Mark Andrews. I didn't. I was just being honest. Something that the fucking media never does. I was just calling out other people who don't do their jobs. Since the media, the sports media that's supposed to do that, only hold one person accountable for Baltimore's losses. And that's Lamar Jackson. And I think that's very weird considering when the Chargers lose, they don't blame Justin Herbert. When the Bills lose, they don't blame Josh Allen. When any team with a quarterback that people like, that the media likes, loses, they make excuses left and right. When the Joe Burrow and them lose, I don't hear them make... Bro, they was telling me that Joe Burrow and them boys was a Super Bowl contender before they was even back over 500. Let the Ravens be under 500 and see if these motherfuckers tell you that this is a Super Bowl contending team. Now, listen, I'm not talking about all the media when I'm going at the media that disrespect Lamar Jackson, basically. But it's damn near most of them. The Jeremy Fowlers, and I'm still not convinced that Jeremy Fowler, that the shit that he said over the summertime, I'm telling you, bro, he ain't got sources. He do got sources, but his sources ain't telling that. He said that shit. Not all the quotes, but some of them disrespectful ass quotes that he was saying, that people were saying about, he said that shit. At some point in time, bro, you gotta come out with your sources, bro. Because sources ain't supposed to be saying some of the shit that these motherfuckers be saying about Lamar Jackson. It's just hating. It's just hating. And you would think that people with these type of credentials that report on these things would understand what to report. Like, should I report these hating ass motherfucking quotes, or should I report actual quotes that's like giving us something like of value, how to defend Lamar and things of that nature? Nah, I just tweet the things and talk about the things that's just hating so I can get clicks and views. And that's weird to me. However, I don't care about that right now. I'm back here to talk about the Baltimore Ravens once again. Let me give you a scenario. And I done given this scenario before on a video in the past. It ain't got the views that the last one got. I'm hot right now. So much like Logic when he capitalized off of that sad time where people was killing themselves, the suicide pandemic, and he decided to capitalize off of that, I'm going back in on the same topic that got me my views. Let's get it. Okay, so listen to me. Imagine you have what's a car? What's a great car that y'all like? Let's say you got a Lamborghini. I don't even know if it's a such thing as a 2022 Lambo, but let's say it is. And you buy that, right? You spend probably over $500,000, probably $1 million something to get that 2022 Lambo. All right? You love that Lambo, right? But instead of going to the same place that you bought the Lambo from to get maintenance done on it, you decide to go to your local shop up the street that's a junkyard, basically. Hundreds of cars in the parking lot that ain't got fixed yet. And that's who you decide to go get your car fixed by, because they hella cheap. But your car continue to have new problems every time you get one fixed. And then that old problem that you got fixed pop up again along with new problems. Your engine light don't cut off now. Your brake light always on. You got computer problems with the car and shit like that. Your light's starting to go out now. And just in time, 2 of your tires is bald. Now, you gonna bitch and complain and be like, man, come on, man. I spent so much money on this car for all these problems. But why would you take this expensive car to your local homie shop to get it fixed rather than going and getting the high maintenance on it from the people from the place that you bought this high maintenance car from? It makes no sense to put in that type of money in a high maintenance car, but spend no money basically, or little to no money to keep it fixed and maintained. That's stupid. It makes absolutely no sense, right? You would think that's just you like, why? What was the purpose of even buying the car? Well, that's what you have with the Baltimore Ravens, because you have a Lamborghini and Lamar Jackson, but they decide to do the bare minimum. Let's talk about the maintenance that they done decided to get for Lamar Jackson. All right, so they lucked up and got a Mark Andrews, even though that wasn't a high value part. They just happened to get him in the same draft in later rounds. But I'll give Mark Andrews his respect. Let's say that's one of the high value parts that they lucked up that came with the car, basically, right? James Prochet. Deshaun Jackson at this age that we thought was retired just a month ago. What's my other man's name? See, I can't even remember all these fucking parts at this moment. What's my other man's name? That everybody keep telling me. I even do think this dude is good. I just don't think he what everybody else keep telling me he is. What's my man's name? Not Rashad Bateman, but you can't add Rashad Bateman to the list as one of the maintenance parts that they done got done. Likely, I like him, but I mean, yet again, spending low on a part to try to fix keep the car maintained. Isaiah Likely. Bro, some of the Tyron Wallace, I mean, I'm going in the bag right now, bro. Fucking Willie Snead. Jesus Christ, bro. I'm going deep in the Dez Bryant coming off of like a 2-year retirement. And it's no disrespect to none of these players I'm naming. These are just fucking facts. How come I cannot remember my guy's name who play right now? What is this dude's name? The receiver that play with us, bro. He basically a slot receiver. And he the number one right now. Not the number, and I'm not even talking about the other dude who we got right now who came from the Chiefs. But you can add Robinson to the list too. What is this other dude's name, bro? He our kick return guy too. You know who I'm talking about if you're a Raven fan. I can't think of his name at the moment. But you can add him to the list too. Now, those is all the receivers. Mixed with tight ends. I mean, shit, you can add Nick Boyle, even though he was basically a blocking tight end. That's all the maintenance they've given to this 2023 Lamborghini. That's That's what they've given him. You got Mark Andrews that basically came with the car. But after that, you got Prochet, Jackson, Bateman, Likely, Wallace, Snead, Bryant, Robinson, Boyle. What are we fucking doing? Like, this is ridiculous. You can't man, I named that fucking list and you cannot tell me for a second you didn't laugh at that shit. Like, come on, bruh. Like, come on. That's what the Ravens is giving this man to work with. And yet and still, every fucking time I turn on the TV station and it's talking about Lamar, it's everything that Lamar can't do. Oh, Lamar can't throw. Oh, Lamar can't make that read. Oh, he ain't dissecting the defense. It even got to the point where when he wouldn't run, because Lamar Jackson is a pocket quarterback who happened to be unbelievable at running. If you actually watch the games, he actually gets sacked because he chooses not to run sometimes. Which I actually think he should do more of now, even though I know he's not going to do that because he got a contract on the line, even though it shouldn't be that way. And it's not even a contract on the line. He basically playing without a contract that he done already earned. But, nonetheless, I still see every time I turn on these stations, people telling me all the things that's wrong with Lamar Jackson, while Lamar cost the Ravens a thing. During that streak of turnovers, when they was losing games in the fourth quarter because Lamar Jackson turned the ball over, why didn't nobody bring up the series of events that happened before that? And don't tell me that that's some new type of thing that they do, because they do that that's being done, because they do that shit for Josh Allen. They do it for not Patrick Mahomes, because Pat Mahomes that took a lot of criticism recently, and I don't understand that shit at all. And this thing where people refuse to give this dude the credit he deserves, it feel like people coming back around. But Jesus Christ, bro, it should not take Pat Mahomes having to do what he doing right now for people to remember that. Like, if you listen to me, I done been consistent. The best quarterback in the NFL in my mind since I done started this channel has been Pat Mahomes. Like, I don't understand this thing of, I understand the what have you done for me lately type of thing, but not when it comes to players like Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. These is dudes who done proven that they are elite talents, franchise quarterbacks. But they still got dudes in the media rocking with Baker midfield, bro. Explain it to me. You can't. Shit makes no sense. And listen, I know I don't put Joe Burrow on this list of things a lot, but let me tell you why I don't put Joe Burrow on this list. For one, I like Joe Burrow. I don't think Joe Burrow is better than Lamar Burrow or Pat Mahomes. I don't care that he done beat Pat Mahomes twice. I don't. He did not beat Pat Mahomes. He beat the Chiefs. But I understand this thing that we like to do. However, this is my problem with putting Joe Burrow where he is. If you did not watch the Chiefs games last year, every single game they played, then I know why you say, and you just realize that, oh, they was in the Super Bowl. I understand why you give Joe Burrow the credit that you give him. But if you watched those Chiefs games, those Cincinnati games last, bro, the most convincing win that Cincinnati had last year was when they beat the Chiefs in the playoffs. Every other win they had, you could chalk up to flukiness because of different things that was going on with the teams. Now, I understand you just beat who in front of you. It don't matter the situation. Everybody dealing with shit. It's just rare that a team get to play a roster or a schedule of teams where damn near every team they play every single week is dealing with something. I mean, the Chiefs' defense bad. They was at their absolute worst when they played the Bengals last year in the regular season. The Baltimore Ravens defense was god awful when they played them last year. Like, if you watch those Cincinnati games, you understand why that team. I'm not trying to take nothing away from them either. I don't want this to sound like I'm trying to rip them if they, getting to the Super Bowl, because that's still a tough accomplishment. We see things go south for teams all the time, and the other team don't capitalize on it. So I'm not taking anything away from them. But I just want to see Joe Burrow be great again. Now, I already believe Joe Burrow is a top 10 quarterback. But it's hard for me to put any young quarterbacks over those three quarterbacks: Mahomes, Allen, Jackson. And I don't think Josh Allen better than Lamar Jackson either. I just want to put that out there. He just got more to work with. And that's the thing that's really bothering me about the media. LaShawn McCoy has become probably one of my favorite media people because, for one, it feel like me and him the only ones who see the thing with Justin Herbert. Not Herbert. What's my man's name? Fields. Me and him got the exact same thoughts on Fields. He just a little bit more aggressive with his thoughts on Fields. But me and him agree with that. He also the only person who feel like consistently calling out this biasness towards Lamar Jackson. Because it's like he said on the show this week. How come no other quarterback get called out like Lamar Jackson get called out? How come no other quarterback, like these other quarterbacks, look who they got to work with. Like, bro, where that fucking... This week on stats that barely fucking matter. Passing leaders in the NFL. From 1 to whatever the number we stop at. Actually, hold up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. From 1 to 10. Even though the last 2 is tied for 9th. Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Brady, Herbert, Geno, Kirk Cousins, Derek Carr, Aaron Rodgers, Jared Goff. Now let's put some context behind that, okay? Because I know people see them like, oh, Lamar Jackson ain't right there. He can't throw. Let's put some context behind that. Pat Mahomes, that's just greatness. I need no context behind that. No, self-explanatory. But if I wanted to be, Andy Reid, the enemy, Kelsey, plethora of good weapons, not great. I still think Mahomes is uplifting the talent around him because Pat Mahomes is that guy, Pat McGoat. Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, Gabriel Davis, Joe Burrow. Before Jamar Chase got hurt, we know he got Chase, but he also got Higgins, he also got Boyd, he also got Mixon. Brady, Mike Evans, Julio. I understand something, but Julio ain't that guy. I won't even put Julio in there. But he got Mike Evans. He got Chris Godwin. I will say they throw the ball a fucking lot over there in Tampa. Herbert. He didn't have him all the games this year, but he still got him. Keenan Allen. Mike Williams. And you got a dynamic running back who, to me, is... I can be able to name him, Austin Eckler, because they use him like he a receiver at times. Geno Smith. This is self-fucking explanatory. Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson, what's my man's name? The tight end that they just traded for from the Lions, TJ Hawkinson, Dalvin Cook, what's my other man? Adam Thielen. Like, come on, bro. And it's the same dude that played with Diggs. Derek Carr, Devontae fucking Adams. Aaron Rodgers, the only reason he got these yards because he throw a lot. This the exception right here. This is the fucking exception. He just throw the ball a fucking lot. They refuse to run the ball for some fucking reason more than they throw it. And that's the only reason Rodgers is right here. Jared Goff. Listen. They throw the ball a lot too, but they actually do have some decent weapons. Amon-Ra St. Brown is a phenomenal receiver. And they have other weapons over there. I understand they're not big names right now. But they have Amon-Ra St. Brown better than every receiver that the Ravens have on their team. Devin Duvernay. That was the other dude that I was forgetting from that list earlier. My fault. That was the add him to that list of parts that they've been giving Lamar. But Amon-Ra St. Brown is a great receiver. If you don't watch the Detroit Lions, which I completely understand that, the Lions actually have some good pieces on that offense. But that's why these stats don't fucking matter completely. Because a lot of these quarterbacks have number 1 receivers, number 2 receivers, 3 receivers, tight ends, running backs. Lamar Jackson got Mark Andrews, who done missed games this year because he done been hurt. What are we doing? You keep telling me that Lamar got to do this, he got to do that, he got to do this, he got to do that. And I'm not taking a shot at Greg Roman this year. Because like I said, I don't even blame Greg Roman. What the fuck is he supposed to do with what they keep giving him? And how the fuck do the media not call Baltimore out for this? Like, how is only Shady calling Baltimore out? Like, how is he the only one saying something about this? Why is it not Stephen A. Smith? Stephen A. Smith really starting to get on my fucking nerves with how half-ass he doing his job when it comes to this. I understand this motherfucker knee deep in the NBA, but this half-assing with the Baltimore Ravens every time he talk about Lamar Jackson, bro, this shit really starting to piss me off, dog. Like, if you're not gonna watch the full games and understand what's going on, you and Michael Strahan, you and Michael Irvin, if y'all two motherfuckers not gonna actually sit down, go through these games of Baltimore and watch them, bruh, stop talking about him just so you can get clicks. This shit don't make sense putting this man down when you're not looking at the whole situation. And don't tell me that you got to defend Lamar like this, because I see y'all, the media defend these other quarterbacks like this all the time. They have whole segments defending these quarterbacks. Could you imagine if Lamar Jackson had what Dak Prescott got at his disposal over these couple years and then come up short as much as Dak Prescott? But they had Dak Prescott in the top 10 of quarterbacks. I ain't forgot that jackass list. They had Derek Carr. Derek Carr ain't even in the playoffs right now. Y'all had him in the top 10, and that motherfucker got Devontae Adams right now. Make this shit make sense to me. When is the last time, I asked it before, when is the last time a player on the level of a Lamar Jackson have been disrespected at this level? It's only 2 unanimous MVPs in the NFL. Somehow they keep trying to take that away from Lamar. I don't understand it. They keep saying, how do you luck up winning that? How do you luck up being as great as Lamar done been? How do you luck up and had a winning record that they didn't have? People keep giving the defense all the credit. That defense ain't been good since we lost that playoff game against Buffalo. People keep blaming on Lamar. I'll continuously. Do you see how many J.K. Dobbins had a drop? Marquise Brown had a drop. What's my man? Mark Andrews had drops. But for some reason, you want to know who the best weapon Lamar Jackson done had since he done been there, not named Mark Andrews? Mark Ingram. Mark Ingram. That was the best weapon he done had since being there. And that's a fucking running back. And the media do Lamar Jackson a disservice. And I'm at the point where there's got to be a hidden agenda. It's just got to be. Where for some reason they keep hyping up these moves by the Baltimore Ravens. I done seen people hype up the Deshaun Jackson move. I done seen people hype up the weapons that they done went out and got Lamar. For some reason, people always say, oh, it's not the Ravens' fault they haven't went out and got Lamar Jackson. They tried to go get out and get guys like T.Y. Hilton, Juju Smith-Schuster. Bruh, those are not number one receivers. They are free agents for a reason. Devontae Adams was traded. Packers did everything in their power not to let that motherfucker go. Justin Jefferson is not going to hit the free agent market. He is going to be traded. Odell Beckham was traded and then finally released last year. You don't get number one receivers off the free agency market, bruh. Julio ain't hit the free agent market yet. Until last year, when people finally was like, okay, this might not be the same Julio no more. Number one receivers have to be traded. Stephon Diggs was traded and then re-signed by the team that traded him. Baltimore Ravens know, the media know that you have to go out and trade for a number one receiver. Stop telling me they tried when they signing all these spare parts off the free agency market. Because history show Tyreek Hill was traded. The only exception to superstar receivers not being traded is when they are drafted. And they are usually drafted in the top pick, in the top of the draft. It's very rare that I don't even think DK Metcalf slipped to the second round, I think. DK Metcalf not going to be released. He will be traded if he leave Seattle. AJ Brown, a superstar receiver who was drafted, was traded. Because superstar receivers that make a difference for a quarterback and an offense and a team are not on the free agency market. You have to trade for them. And you know teams that trade for those type of receivers are making an investment in the offense and the quarterback because they know that this is the thing that can get us over the top. For some reason, Baltimore continue to look at this team. And this year, it should be clear, is like, for some reason, fans keep getting confused because the media continue to say shit like, and I love Colin, but him continuing to say the offense is done caught up to Lamar Jackson. It's not hard to catch up to a player if the team continues to go backwards and not upgrade. He done only had Andrews for about his entire career now. They have yet to give him a legitimate number one receiver on that. Yeah, I keep telling me Bateman is a number one. That's because they have not watched these full games. If you watch the games that Bateman played in, Bateman is not a number one receiver. He is a number two receiver. He is not a number one. And it's sad that how bad Baltimore's offense got, even when a number two receiver masquerading as a number one left. But for some reason, could you imagine if Justin Herbert got weapons and they keep telling me that that the Chargers doing him dirty? Could you imagine if the Chiefs didn't go out and continuously spend on trying to get Pat Mahomes weapons? Could you imagine if the Bills never had went out and got Stephon Diggs and didn't continue to build around them? Could you imagine if Joe Burrow didn't have the weapons he had and the media got a hold of that? Like, could you imagine if the quarterbacks that they like, and they don't even know I don't know why I said Pat Mahomes since they keep throwing shots at that man. I'm a GOAT. Could you imagine if when Brady didn't have no weapons in New England? They talked about it. Could you imagine if Peyton didn't have weapons? They keep telling me Aaron Rodgers ain't got weapons and shit. But for some reason, they don't get that same type of, heat to the Baltimore Ravens organization. When Aaron Rodgers started this shit a couple years ago, all I heard was how the Packers did Aaron Rodgers dirty. And I agreed. They was spending the bare minimum and just relying on Aaron Rodgers to be great. And now the exact same thing is happening with Lamar Jackson in Baltimore, and nobody's saying nothing about it. Why is that? Because if Lamar Jackson don't play, this team don't win. It's just it's as simple as that. And you keep telling me, well, they go as Lamar go. Yeah, every team go as they quarterback go if you got a great quarterback. But you don't ask the quarterback to be Superman every fucking week. You supposed to reserve those performances for big games. Lamar Jackson is going out there asked to be Superman every week because he does not have a receiver. Do you see what A.J. Brown has done for the Philadelphia Eagles in that offense? You already got a great number 2 receiver in Devontae Smith and a great tight end in Dallas Goedert. But now you got a number 1 receiver that make it easier for both of those two dudes. It make it easier for your quarterback. But for some reason, Baltimore don't see that. Hey, all these teams with young quarterbacks that's got promise is getting better because Tua Tagovailoa over there. But Baltimore seem to be the only team. For one, they won't pay their franchise quarterback who don't won a unanimous MVP without any of those type of weapons. What other quarterback don't won a unanimous MVP or MVP without any all-pro receivers on the team or Pro Bowl level receivers on the team with him? Because Lamar Jackson did that. And you can go ahead and overhype Hollywood Brown if you want to, bro. I'm already used to y'all overhyping everybody on this fucking team. Not named Lamar Jackson. But it's kind of wild to me. Not kind of wild. It's fucking wild. And it's a bunch of bullshit at this point. And like I said, the media that continue to talk about Lamar Jackson, I don't know why this dude, Shannon Sharpe, I try to talk to Lamar, but every time somebody says something, it's like they critical. Bro, do you not realize how critical you done been to this man and you don't watch these games? I ain't not one time heard you talk about how Lamar Jackson, well, I have heard you one time, but it's not too many times where you give anybody else blame on that team except for Lamar. Every fucking time, 90% of the time you talk about the Ravens, you talking down on Lamar Jackson. Now listen, I give it to you. Recently and a couple times lately, it feel like you done been more positive of Lamar Jackson. But bruh, you the same dude that went at him when he had good games and was still critical of him, talking about he can't throw. I remember you sitting with Deion Sanders and I think LT talking about how Lamar can't throw. Like, I don't understand it. I really don't. How is it? And I understand fair is who cares about being fair? But I'm just asking them to do their jobs at a better degree. Because going hard like they're going at Lamar Jackson, but not talking about none of that. I mean, because damn, if you just a regular fan and you not a Baltimore fan, I doubt you know anybody's name on the team not named Lamar Jackson, Justin Tucker, Mark Andrews. Because they don't give blame or fault to anybody else. Patrick Queen, and I don't want to keep taking shots at Patrick Queen, but this motherfucker been walking around the last couple years playing like shit. You'd never know. You never know. Because they don't talk about it. Calais Campbell had some rough years the last 2 years as far as like just being a difference maker for us. You would never know. Marlon Humphreys had a rough year last year before he got hurt. You never know. Marcus Peters done had a rough year this year. You'd never know. Because every time they talk about Baltimore, the offensive line last year, the last 2 years, not this year, the past 2 years, atrocious. You'd never know. Ronnie Staley been hurt for 2 years. You'd never know. The center continuously was snapping the ball over the Lamar Jackson head the last 2 years. You'd never know. Because every time they talk, the run game was atrocious the last 2 years for the Ravens. If you take away Lamar Jackson's stats, you never know. Because they don't talk about shit but Lamar Jackson when this team goes south. When things is bad, that's bad happening. And I done said multiple times, this ain't no Super Bowl team. They got a Super Bowl quarterback. But this ain't a Super Bowl team. Because see, that's what a great quarterback do for a team. That's what a generational quarterback do for a team. Continuously make you think that the team is a Super Bowl contending team. But what if you take Lamar Jackson off of this offense? Who in the blue fuck think that this offense got Super Bowl contending team written on it? Just the offense. Who you think Pat Ricard going out there catching 80 passes a season? Mind you, that's somebody that they got going out there running routes. Pat McCard can tweet that that's a lie, but bro, we literally can pull up the film. They have you out there running routes, bro. This year, last year, the year before, like, come on, what's going on? And nobody called that out in the media. They just keep blaming Lamar for everything. What kind of see Lamar better than me, cause he just told Buddy to eat a dick. I would have told a couple dudes to eat a dick by now. If Stephen A would have got told to eat a dick, Shannon Sharp being real sensitive, you would have really been sensitive. Because I would have told you to eat a dick. I would have told Michael Irvin to eat a dick. It would have been a lot of people in the media I would have told to eat a dick. Now listen, like I said, Lamar Jackson better than me. Now, but by the time I get bigger and I'm more used to, I understand I'm not going to be able to be saying shit like that. But right now, I'm on that you can eat a dick type of level. And Jamison Hensley, my boy, eat a dick. Eat a dick. Because you know, like my man Lamar said, defamation of character, you hoe ass. Whoo, buddy. You lucky I'm recording. But listen, man. What Shannon Sharp be saying to make a short story long? I ain't quoting Shannon in this video, bro. I ain't quoting Shannon's sensitive ass in this video, bro. Gonna say that shit, knowing that is gonna be some ignorant people out there who try to turn on Lamar. But man, this dude Lamar, that dude, man. I don't know how you do it, Lamar. I'm be honest with you, cause I see you in the media and you always talking about, man, they're my guys, man. And listen, bro, I understand that. I ain't even gonna joke about that. I understand that leadership type shit, bro. I done played for 10. I understand how that go. But the fucking media is not Lamar Jackson. They ain't the quarterback for this team, so they should be critical of Baltimore. They should be calling this shit out. Why do we got this fucking Lambo 2029 getting service from the homies up the street that run a questionable chop shop, a questionable mechanic shop? Like, what are we doing? I'm just saying. Shit's wild to me. But listen, I'm still not done. But I'm done right now. I appreciate y'all for joining me, man. Listen, and that was no shot at that list of players that I had named earlier. But it's just the fucking facts, bro. And the media is not calling it out. So somebody got to. I don't really be hearing Baltimore accounts and shit call it out either. Now, I'm still suspended off of Twitter forever until I get big and then I can fight that. But, right now, the boy is not on Twitter. And that's a shame. That's a shame, really, because I actually didn't deserve to be suspended permanently off of Twitter. I didn't deserve none of the suspensions I got, except for probably one. But, that's neither here nor there. With that being said, I appreciate y'all for joining me on another episode of Kingdom with Saint. Tell somebody fuck with him. Tell somebody you love them. I will be back tomorrow. Well, I'm going to record it tomorrow, but I don't know if it's going to be up tomorrow. It'll probably be up early in the morning. My recap for Thursday Night Football. The Patriots take on the Bills head to New England and take on the Patriots. And I'm very intrigued by how that game. Somebody at work gonna be like, hey, yo, you gonna work a double with me today? No, fuck you. I ain't working no double. I got a football game to watch, ho. I'm gonna tell y'all something, bro. I did all them hours on Thanksgiving. Wasn't worth it. Was not worth it. Not gonna do it again. Not gonna do it. I don't even be celebrating Thanksgiving. But I could have been at the crib smoking and watching football games all fucking day. And I chose to work all fucking day. You live and you learn. But one day I'm not gonna be working these raggedy ass jobs. And when I get put on, a whole bunch of other people not gonna be working them raggedy ass jobs either. But with that being said, I appreciate y'all for joining me on another episode of Kicking It with Saint. Tell somebody you fuck with him. Tell somebody you love him. Saint out.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, you know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy. Scoop her up like I'm raking her something. You would think shawty red track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber. You out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home. Tight.